Hey, welcome to a Casey Hangout. I'm a Casey, but I will never get offended if you just call me Casey. This is my very first stream, so we're pretty much just going to vibe today. Nothing crazy, probably going to be a shorter stream than usual. I had some last minute things come up this morning, so didn't get started when I actually wanted to. Um, However, we're gonna kick things off with Diablo Immortal. But this channel isn't just going to be about Diablo. Um, if you have any suggestions for games, let me know. And I am always willing to try out new games as well. This is just one that I've been playing on and off for a really long time, so I feel a little more comfortable with multitasking with Diablo than with a lot of other games. So here we go. So I'm just gonna collect like the daily stuff real quick, uh, just while getting started. So the goal of this channel is mainly just to hang out, have fun. Um, my big goal is to just build a community. Like I said, I am comfortable with Diablo because I've played it on and off for a really long time. Up until a few months ago, there was not a day that I didn't at least go on to do daily stuff. And I kind of just backed away from it because we had a lot of like personal and family stuff come up. But with going into streaming, very first stream, um, figured it would be a decent one to get back into. So if you're looking for a community, feel free to stick around. Mm, Again, just collecting daily stuff real quick. Um, so it has been a minute since I've played, so there's probably going to be some stuff that pops up that I haven't done before. So bear with me as I go through some of the new stuff that they've added since I was regularly playing. Um, as of right now, I'm playing as a demon hunter. I started out, oh, I don't even remember what I started with now. Um, I didn't start out as a demon hunter. Um, my husband and I used to play together a lot, and I was in a war band. He was in a different one, and the war band that he was in needed an extra person, but they wanted somebody that was a demon hunter. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna try it. We're gonna go for it and we're gonna see how it works out because worst case scenario, I can always switch back. So I switched to Demon Hunter basically just to get into a war band that I wanted to be in. And I ended up really, really liking the Demon Hunter, so I stuck to it. And there is a lot more stuff to check than there used to be. Partly because I haven't been a super active player the last few months, so of course there's the return to sanctuary stuff. Bear with me. I have not been a 100% free to play player. However, I would not say that I am a pay to play either by any means. Um, let's see. Well, let's go do an easy-ish one. Let's get back into shadows. Now, with this being my first stream, just please keep in mind that I'm still testing things out, figuring out how things work, um, where I won't always be streaming off of my phone. Today I am. Um, so that comes with its own territory. But if you notice that something doesn't look right, or it doesn't sound right, or just something's off, feel free to let me know. Um, I appreciate any feedback that I can get, especially with just starting the journey. Um, okay, I'm gonna go into my settings real quick because I just realized that none of my sound at all is playing. Okay, so if that's too loud or something, let me know. Even if you're watching later, if you notice that it's a little bit too loud, drop it in the comments, and next time I go live, I will make sure to adjust it. Okay. Absolutely, I would like to skip the quest. If you've played Diablo Immortal, you already know why I skipped that. Okay, let's see why this is flashing. Combat rating is higher, so we will go ahead and transfer that. And now we have the shadows section opened up instead of it just saying adventurer. And rank is, of course, initiate, as it always starts out with. Now, I am not nearly as strong as what the typical is in the game, because again, it's been a hot minute since I've played regularly. But what I used to do is once I would hit shadow, then I would come over here and go to Path of Blood. and I would just do all 100 floors right out the gate. Just do all 100 floors and get it over with. I know full well that that is not even a remote possibility right now, so we're not even going to attempt that today. Okay. So since that is telling me that that's almost full, I love that they added a blacksmith over here. They added that before I stopped playing too overly much. We'll salvage all that stuff. Okay. Okay, another thing with Shadow is... Oh. Never mind. Oh, no, I haven't opened it up yet. Never mind. Forget you have to be at a certain level before you can do that. So let's come back down here real quick. And we'll skip to the 5th one. And then we'll return to the Court of Whispers. And it should have unlocked contracts now. I always go for the solo contracts because you don't have to depend on other people to finish your contract. If I'm running with a group, sometimes I'll do the dungeon contracts, but I usually get the contracts done and out of the way before running in a group with anybody. If you're someone that plays Diablo, that actually plays, or if you have played Diablo, what class have you typically played, or like what is your favorite class to play? There's some days that I still can't believe I like Demon Hunter as much as I do. It was one that I tried out at one point, and I just really didn't care for it. It was my least favorite out of all of them, and I even told one of the people in one of the past clans that I was in that I didn't last an entire day on Demon Hunter the first time that I tried it. And I said I will never try Demon Hunter again. And then I wanted to be in a different warband, and that was kind of like the must-do to be in that warband was to switch, because it was just the one class that they were missing at that time. Okay, now some background stuff. Every once in a while, you will hear a dog in the background. I try my best to keep him nice and quiet, but it doesn't always happen. He is a German Shepherd, and he likes to be loud and obnoxious, so you more than likely will hear him here and there. We also have a cat who is less noisy, but not less obnoxious. So I may have to kind of shove him off sometimes. And also, I have 3 kids. So if they don't have school, or if they're not feeling good or whatever, or we're coming up on summer break, so they'll be here all the time at that point, you will absolutely hear them in the background. My 8 and 6-year-old, they will be 9 and 7 next month. They're usually pretty good about, like, if I tell them that I need them to go off and do their own thing, a lot of times they will go off and just do whatever. They'll go play in their room or something. However, the 3-year-old tends to be glued to me, especially when I'm trying to do things. So if she's home, you'll probably have a 3-year-old in the stream. Sorry, but not sorry. So if hearing kiddos in the background annoys you, this probably isn't the right space for you. Yeah, I think that's it for background stuff. Let me pay attention to this real quick. Ta-da! I love how even though everything else changes in Diablo, the contracts, the shadow contracts, have not changed since the game first came out. Honestly, probably part of the reason that I stopped doing them a while ago, even before I stopped really playing too much, because it was too repetitive. It got boring after a while. There's other stuff in the game, but I really started slacking on doing my contracts long before I stopped playing. open up this wonderful stuff again. I like how they have changed, nope, not it. My goodness. This. I like how they have changed how the tasks show up. So when the game first came out, it was you had the daily goals. And if you didn't get all your goals done for the day, well, you're just kind of screwed. So I like that they changed it to where it's weekly. So if you don't play one day during that week for whatever reason, it doesn't like knock the points from you. Okay. Okay, so let's go to something easy. It's just gonna keep popping that up. Alright, Ashwald Cemetery. Alright, hang on just a second. I always seem to forget about the little snakes that pop out of them. Level 22. You didn't know those tools give you added experience.
I am healed.
So usually, when you're playing, if you come across these little blue guys, And they aren't always those kind of guys, but in general, they're like blue monsters. If you come across those, they drop like little experience globes, and it just gives you extra experience on top of the initial like killing of the monster. But if you have one of the pools, then any monster that you take down, you get an experience globe from.
Darkness awaits you.
I was wondering what these collect iron ore from ore nodes thing was, but apparently I figured it out. It's one of the updates since the last time that I played. If you're just tuning in, this is my very first stream, so be nice. Today I'm playing Diablo Immortal, however, it is not going to be the only game that I'm planning on streaming. It's just one that I am pretty decently comfortable with. I know that there's like new things that have been added since I was regularly playing, but overall it hasn't changed enough to where I'm not comfortable playing it while talking. Feel free to drop hey in the comments. If you're not watching live, still feel free to drop by and say hey.
Your fear betrays you.
I do have a Discord channel. Obviously, it's pretty empty right at the moment, being a new streamer and whatnot. But I am really hoping to be able to grow a community between here and Discord. If you have any games that you recommend playing, feel free to drop them. Check them out and see if it's something that I could stream. If something doesn't look right or doesn't sound right, I know I mentioned it earlier, let me know and I will try to adjust some of the settings or adjust what I can to make it to where everything sounds and looks how it should.
I could get used to that.
Let me know if you're chilling here live or if you're watching it after the fact. If you know the game and want to have me do something specific, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna run around and do random stuff for the day. I've seen that one of the tasks for returning to Sanctuary was catching a fish. To be perfectly honest, that is probably going to be one of the last things that I do because it is probably my least favorite part of Diablo. My husband, I swear, it is like his favorite part because he can just set it up to fish and then walk away from his phone. And if he can walk away from his phone and have something still be being productive, that is like one of his favorite things because he hates having his phone.
Better and better.
Complete Mad King's Breach. Another decent feature they got is not having to wait on people, apparently.
But I found the shard. I found purpose. The Queen's spirit would lead me to Leoric. And the power to rule over the dead. I will be vindicated. Leoric's soul is the key. The Oryx throne lies somewhere in this haunted realm. It's time to return his wretched soul to its rest.
Downside of not having to wait on people is not knowing how strong any of your teammates are going to be. And especially if you're like me and you've been away for a minute, it is helpful if you have teammates that are stronger than you are. Because then they can kind of almost just walk you through it.
Another enemy quickly vanished.
You know, I used to have that set up, but it doesn't look like it's doing it now.
What is the mission?
We're just gonna turn it over. It has been a while since I've been this close to getting something around here. I guess that's the joys of coming back to the game after taking a decent break from it.
I am well again. What is the mission?
I feel like these gargoyles are always stronger than you would expect them to be. Pesky monster that decides to hide in between everybody else and make me think that everything's dead when it's not.
Back in the fight.
If you also play Diablo Immortal, drop what server you're on. I'm playing on Malice. I don't remember right off the top of my head which servers are in the cluster with Malice, but that's the one that I'm on. Drop what server you're on and your username. And people as I can. I feel like not having the aim feature with my stuff is just making it to where I have to play more close combat than range. Because if I try to do range, all that it focuses on is like the little minions that everyone summons. And that doesn't really do anything for the big picture.
Dodge that.
Leave dungeon. We're not gonna redo that. Okay. What's next? That is done, first off.
Better and better. I could get used to that.
Don't know that I have enough Paragon points that I can actually spend. Ooh, I do. Technically, I think. However, I need to go a few more levels before I can. So let's work on doing that. Shadows, complete a daily dungeon, we did that. Let's see, Elder Rift. Let's go do an Elder Rift. Oh, I thought it would let me navigate from there, but I guess it didn't. And then we'll go to this waypoint. Rare crests. That's all that I got right now. We'll go with seven. Okay, so for Elder Rifts, unless it starts to get to where everything's killing me pretty quickly, how I typically run them is I just run past the regular ones, or I'll drop like the sentries, and I run towards the blues and the yellows because they're what really boost your progress bar. But every once in a while I will drop sentries next to just the regular monsters because it helps knock them out without me having to necessarily be there. And it helps bump progress up some as well that way. but I try to only do that in areas where there's like a decent amount of monsters. That way I'm not just wasting resources. No colors. So we'll go back down this way and go around the other direction. Okay. I love Elder Rift. They always make my character feel much stronger than it actually is. As I mentioned before, this is my very first stream that I'm doing. So where I have played this game on and off since literally the day that it launched, I am very new to the actual streaming process. Be nice. Feel free to drop hey in the chat. Let me know if you're watching it live or catching it when we're not live. I do have a Discord channel that I have up to try to build a community between here and Discord. So if you're interested in that, the link should be on my channel and in the panels.
Vengeance will be mine.
I can drop it in the chat also if you're interested. Let me know in chat if you have played Diablo Immortal before, or if you haven't. If you have, what's your favorite class to play, or maybe what's a class that you want to try playing but you're kind of on the fence about it. I was really on the fence with Demon Hunter. I did not want to play Demon Hunter. I did not like it the first time that I tried it. And then I wanted to be in a certain warband, and I switched to Demon Hunter for that warband, and I have been stuck Demon Hunter since then because I prefer it over the other classes. I'm not gonna rank up just yet. Let's see, something else we can do that's in the tasks. Affections. So where bounties are kind of boring after a while because it's like with shadow contracts, the same things over and over and over. Okay, I already have a bunch of them accepted. It helps boost your battle pass points, and you get pretty decent experience out of it, as well as the monstrous essences.
Feel my wrath.
If you have played the game before but stopped, what made you stop? I know when I stopped playing, it was because we had some family stuff come up and I had to put my focuses elsewhere. Like I've said earlier in the stream, before when I was playing there for at least a year after the game was launched, but I think it was closer to the 2-year mark. There was not a day that I did not log into this game to at least like collect the daily stuff. But then we just are like got way chaotic for a while. So I had to take a step back and really focus on like house stuff and my kids or family stuff.
Back in the fight.
If you have never played this game before, what has stopped you from playing it? Alright, so my plan as far as like a schedule for when I'll be streaming. Figured with this being the first stream, I might as well include it somewhere within it. Typically, it will be Tuesdays and Thursdays. My goal is to start around 8:30 and end around 10:30. So I'm going past 10:30 today, obviously. It is 11:08 where I am at. I am on Eastern time. But typically it'll be 8:30 to 10:30. That just works out best with my kids' school schedule. Try to get streaming done when my kids are still in school for right now while they're in school. Again, summer break coming up, so the schedule may end up changing some depending on what works for when they get home. But for right now, this is what's gonna work best for me and my family. Today I'll have to get off probably about 11:30. My youngest kiddo only goes to school for half a day. She is in like a young fives type class, so she gets out right around that 11:30 time. And then it'll be time to wait for her to get off of the bus. But until then, bounties it is. To get through. Especially if you're running with at least one other person. Because then you can do 2 of them, they can do 2 of them. You get credit even if you're working on 2 separate bounties for anything that your group accomplishes. You just don't get like the coins and any extra goodies that drop on the ground unless you're running together. Another tip for this channel. One thing about me, and something that you'll probably notice if you're catching it after the fact, whatever. Sometimes I struggle to stay on like one topic or one quest or whatever it may be. I'm a little on the ADD, ADHD side, so bear with me. But I'm also that person that like the notifications on here, especially with Diablo, because they're like right in your face the entire time that you're playing. Like this little notification up here, it drives me insane. And I will, anytime I'm like between doing things, you'll notice that I click on it because notifications bug me and I like to not have that little red dot there. For some reason, when I'm doing the Return to Sanctuary one especially, it does not disappear. One of the days, and it's like the next day, it's not even the day that I'm on, it will have the notification dot next to it, and it won't let me get rid of it even if I click on it. So if you're like me and the notifications bug you, I'm sorry. I do my best to try to keep the notification dot off, and sometimes it just doesn't work in my favor.
Feel my wrath.
Okay, find 2 more of the little monsters. And just like that, 4 bounties done.
The hunt continues.
Let's see what the tasks are for. Here.
What a glorious feeling.
So we'll jump to first day tasks and try to finish those real quick. Oh, I lied. Day 2. So it's a challenge rift. So let's see. We'll go through this one because I don't remember how strong they necessarily were before. Now, a challenge rift, I do pretty much the same thing that I do with elder rifts, especially if like the little guys aren't killing me immediately. I try to walk past them as much as possible and just get to the blue guys and the yellow guys. If I start having a harder time once they start getting into the big mobs, then I'll kind of slow down a little bit and then not let them mob up so bad, especially if I know that I'm coming up on the yellow and blue guys. Again, if you're watching live, drop a hey in the chat. Overall goal is to build a community.
And renewed.
Can you really do that if I could, but it's not as fun.
My health returns.
Something reforged? A job well done. Need something?
That should be day 2 done. Ooh, look at all those goodies to upgrade. Okay. Get that task checked off.
What a glorious feeling.
Yep, day 2 is done. Alright. Catch a fish. Oh yeah, that has got to be my least favorite part of Diablo. Alright, let's do another elder real quick. Ultimate overflow, legendary, untold riches. Oh no! Didn't mean to click skip. My bad.
No place can hide me from you. Darkness awaits you.
I like the extras in this elder. Skip on the extra legendary.
Suffer! You deserve nothing less.
Over in the other corner.
Yes. Reforge the
Join or create a clan and catch fish.
Do you require? That was quite the find. Use it well, friend.
I'm not going to pay too much attention to things other than the green arrows, because green arrows are typically better. Just quick glance at stuff, as long as the combat rating is better, I typically always switch it. I do usually make sure that it inherits the essence, especially right now until I have a chance to go in and like double check the new essences and really figure out which ones I want to use versus the ones that I don't want to use anymore. I'm just going to inherit stuff and figure it out after. So none of them are super big upgrades, but upgrades nonetheless. I thought that one was gonna let me finish the ore mining, but I guess not. Didn't cast the direction that I wanted it to, but it'll work. So while we're waiting on my least favorite activity in the game, drop hey in the chat if you're here live. Let me know if you're watching it after the fact. I do have a Discord channel to try to help build a community. I know that it's day one, but my overall goal is to build a community, and I know that Discord is kind of a necessity for that, so feel free to join it. The link should be on my channel, and I do believe it is also in the panels, but I know that I attached it to the channel. Almost forgot how the fishing worked.
Perfection.
Create or join a clan. not super competitive plan, at least to get back into it. If you're just joining, Diablo is not the only game that I'm planning on having in my streams. It was just what I chose for today. If you have any other games that you want to recommend or suggest, feel free to drop them in chat. There's also a section on my Discord that I designated for that. If you like what you're seeing, hit the follow button. I would greatly appreciate it. I know I don't necessarily know what I'm doing all the way yet, but very first stream, I think I'm doing decent at least. Let's see. If you play Diablo and you are on Malice or one of the other servers in that cluster, let me know. Not entirely against switching servers either. I had a lot of people that I got familiar with when I was playing pretty regularly. However, I've been out of it long enough that I'm not totally against a server change either. Let's see. I'm just trying to find one that doesn't say that you have to be super active. Alright, seeing what time it is. It is after the 11:30 mark when I said I was gonna hop off. If you were here live, thank you so much for hopping in during the live. If you watched after, shoot me a message, drop a comment. Follows are always very much appreciated. Anywho, thanks for stopping in for the very first stream on AKC Hangout. I'm hoping to be back Tuesday, hopefully about 8:30 Eastern. Drop a follow to get notifications for that. Yeah, I think that's about it. join the Discord channel, drop a follow, and we'll catch you next time.